In year 2071, when I'm 91, the city of York will be 2,000 years old. Today, I want to compare what the city looked like back in Roman times and how it looks now. Okay, today I want to show the difference between the layout of today's city of York and the difference between Roman and Anglian York, where the city would have been. It's a brilliant map, by the way, Ordnance Survey Historical Map and Guide from York Archaeological Trust on Roman and Anglian York. Okay, so we have the city. So you can see what they've done here. They've layered the Roman city over a street map of today's York. One of the first things I noticed about this map here is that the rivers, where you've got the rivers in Roman times, they're a lot wider than where they are today. So this is the River Ouse, and you can see it's so wide back then. You have here's where Skeldergate Bridge is, but if you look, Terry Avenue, which today runs past Rowntree's Park, would have been well underwater, and so is the case for the streets on both sides of the river here. You come up to where the King's Arms is, so that's where people sit outside there, which is almost in the middle of the old River Ouse. You'll notice that we passed Skeldergate Bridge there, and up here we have what is Ouse Bridge. The Romans would have crossed here. There's a bridge here, would have been the only bridge we know of that we think in Roman times, as we're aware of these roads on either side. Come up here, that's where Lendal Bridge is today. So you can see a lot of today's Museum Gardens area would have been underwater back then, as would have been the War Memorial Gardens. And here's the Fosse. You can see so many of the streets today, because the Fosse is so narrow today. You can see the towing path here, and yet here on the map would have been so wide. Really good example here as we go up is Blue Bridge. Where's Blue Bridge? Somewhere here. And you can see today all is needed is a tiny bridge, but back then all of this was underwater. Roman bridge would have taken them over the Fosse. A really good example to compare the width of the rivers is when you come up here, because this is where today's River Fosse goes, and you can see it takes a different turn, but whereas in Roman times would have been huge. Snakes its way out of the city, and there's another where there would have been another Roman road crossing there. Here we are in Manchester, this crazy yellow building, and some of the other modern architecture across the city. I sometimes wonder what the Romans would have thought if they were able to see the kind of buildings that we're putting up today. I'm sure impressed, but maybe also slightly baffled. Okay, so looking down as a whole on Roman York, you can see that they built the fortress between the two rivers, but the Colonia, the Roman Colonia, well, that built up around the fortress, but also started building up on the other side of the river. You can see Colonia meaning essentially where the civilians lived. The little blue triangles and blue circles where they've had multiple finds, and here the red squares where there would have been Roman buildings. So you can see they've found a lot in the archaeological digs over here in the civilian town. Temple of Mithras, Temple of Scrapers. Here, site of Four Seasons mosaic. Mosaic being essentially mosaic on the floor of a building to show wealth, usually. And the Four Seasons mosaic, in fact, there's a little picture that they've done up here, what it would have symbolised. See the bird on the shoulder of Medusa here, to symbolise spring. That would have been in someone's house, so that was a pretty wealthy house at the time. So you've got here, like I say, the fortress in the centre, the two roads cutting through it. And this one doesn't quite join there because this was all the area for the Principia, the headquarters in the middle. Today, of course, the city is quite a bit bigger. In fact, if you think about the medieval walls today, they cut through Wormgate Bar, which is right the way down here. Yeah, there we go, Wormgate Bar. Ironically, so here's the Roman road and here's Wormgate. So ironically, it would have come through about the same place, but there wouldn't have been an entrance there, Wormgate Bar, in Roman times. That was a medieval thing. Here you've got the cemeteries, Roman cemeteries. They would always have been on the entrances, so either side of the Roman roads. So you can see where there's a big Roman road coming out of the city, you've always got the cemetery by it. If you think coffins above the ground as a way of, they were the first things people would see, sign of strength as people came into the city.